All right, hi, and warmly welcome to today's episode. And today I have the great honor to have Jur with me, and he will probably tell you more about himself. But he's working at PUMA, and happy and warm welcome, Jur, to this podcast.
Hey Jacob, thanks for inviting me. Yeah, my name is Jur. I'm from the Netherlands. 24 years old, and I'm currently working at PUMA. I started like a couple of years ago as an intern, and now I'm still working at PUMA. So hopefully my story will be interesting enough for you guys.
Of course. Well, I mean, first of all, before we go down into more what you do and what you have done, just checking in, how are you doing?
Yeah, at the moment, for sure, it's difficult times, but actually I'm feeling very well. I'm at the right place at the moment at PUMA. We are doing great business, growing every year, and that's the most important thing, I think. Very well at the moment.
Great. Well, I thought we could, warm up a bit and just run through this segment I'm calling Quick Fives. So basically 5 quick questions, and then we can go into more about yourself. So
let's go.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess you already answered it a bit, but, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from the Netherlands, especially from the south of the Netherlands. I've met you like 2 years ago at the ISM Summer School in Malmö. We went there with a couple of Dutch guys, and we had a lot of fun. And that's where we met each other. And it was a great time.
It was for sure. And how old are you?
I'm 24 years old. So pretty in the first stage of my career. And I still love it.
Yeah, that's the spirit. And then, so the next question, best sport in the world, according to you?
Yeah, that's of course football.
Yeah,
I can actually mention a lot of sports because I really like some different kind of sports, but football is for sure on top.
And my next question is, would you say you are a morning person or more like a night owl?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. I think both. I can wake up pretty early and make it light, as you know. But I think I'm, if I have to choose, I'm a night owl.
Yeah. And then last question of these 5 quick questions. How many languages do you speak?
I would say 2, Dutch and English, but I can understand German as well. So that's fine, but I don't speak it that much.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I think you made it pretty well. Just for some warmer questions now, I wanted to more get into and asking. You started quite early on to mention a little bit about yourself, but let's say, for those that doesn't know anything about you, who is Jur van Schijndel? If I'm pronouncing it quite okay.
When you pronounce it Dutch, it will be Jur van Schijndel. But I'm, as I mentioned before, 24 years old, a young, sportive guy. As I mentioned before, I really like a lot of different sports, like football for sure, Formula 1, cycling, but I can watch tennis and actually almost sport on TV. So I really watch a lot of sports. I did the sports marketing bachelor at the university, and I've been to the summer school in Malmö where I met you, and now I'm working at PUMA. I did 2 internships at PUMA. First of all, sports marketing on the performance side, and later on as a business analyst. And now I'm working at a sales department.
Great.
So that's a quick view what I did in the past and where I came from.
Yeah. Now we will go down further into more about what you actually do there. But I think that was a great, introduction. So listeners and also the people who are watching this could understand a little bit about yourself. And now I wanted to, ask you about your first sports memory. Is there anything particular that you think of when we would like to, hear about your first sports memory?
My first sports memory. I think when I was pretty young, it was just like being on the pitch for the entire weekend. When you was free from school on Fridays, you go to the pitch, to the sandy fields with the goals without the nets. And then on Saturday you play matches, hang out on the field afterwards. And Sunday, you go to the pitch as well to watch the seniors playing, the first 11s, and then you're still playing football for the whole weekend. And that's actually what I remember from when I was young.
So basically, everything that was around the football, then no matter if you were playing yourself or watching, the football was the center.
It doesn't matter when you play it by yourself or just watch it on TV or in real life. It was like, living on the pitch almost.
That's great. That's great. And then the last question before we jump into the next part of this episode. It's more about, how do you start your day?
Depends on the day. At the moment, I'm working sometimes from home, sometimes at the office, due to the coronavirus, of course. Sometimes when I wake up early, I do some sport activities like running or just a short workout. And then I work at home mostly. And sometimes we have necessary meetings at the office. And then I drive early to the office around 7 in the morning. And then, I will spend the day at the office. So, it depends. Sometimes with the sports activities and then have breakfast. And sometimes I skip breakfast as well, and just driving to the office to do some stuff before the meetings are starting.
All right, yeah. I mean, obviously, sometimes the schedule can't really be the same the whole time, so I think it's good to have some different opportunities.
Yeah, it's pretty flexible, but I really like it.
Cool. Well, that was the first, introduction part of this. So now we want to know a little bit more about, what you do and how you get involved. And you already mentioned it a bit, but, before we get into more about what you do, could we go a little bit more back to where everything maybe started? And you can tell us maybe more about how you got into the studies and then further on how you got into the sports sector.
Yeah, sure. Actually, when I was done on the secondary school, I started with the bachelor business economics. But as I felt it pretty early, it wasn't really my thing. I could go to the second class, but I was thinking really to myself, like, what do I want to do? What do I really like? So is this what I really want to do when I am like 20 years old, 30 years old, and still when I'm 40 or 50 years old? And then I thought, no, this is not what I really want. And then I was searching for really like a sports sector university degree. And then I came to the open day of the sports marketing. And I directly felt myself at home. And I did that bachelor in 3 years instead of 4, because I came from university. I passed already some exams, so I could go within 3 years. And that's where it all started.
Which university was it, by the way?
It was in Tilburg. It was the Fontys High School. And I was really focused on sports. So that's what I really liked at school. And during my period at that university, I did 2 summer schools. So as I mentioned before, one in Malmö and one in Germany. Was like 2 short weeks with students from all over Europe. I really liked that, and I went on a exchange period for half a year in Vietnam. And that kind of things really helped me to start my career. Actually, my first internship at PUMA. My manager was really like, I love that people who are broader their acknowledge not only within the Netherlands but also in Europe or in entire part of the world, and that really helped me. So that's what I actually did in university, and then my first internship at PUMA, I did the marketing performance internship. So I was supporting the marketing department at PUMA in the Benelux. And the Benelux is Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. So that's like one part of Europe. And the performance side means like all the functional products. So like football boots, running shoes, and that kind of stuff. And not like lifestyle. So not within the sneaker business, but more in a functional way. And after that internship, I had to go back to school for 6 months. And then I was searching for another internship, not at PUMA. But I still had some contacts with colleagues from my internship. And they really said, like, come back, we have another internship for you. Because I really wanted to do something else. And I was not sure about that internship because it was not really what I wanted, but it was a sales operations, like a business analyst. So I was working a lot with data, comparing each other and make analysis of all the data. But it was really interesting. So I did that internship as well at PUMA. And after like a couple of months, they offered me a job. And I accepted, of course, and that's actually where I am right now.
Cool. I mean, there's obviously a lot of questions here to ask you, but when it comes to, you were mentioning you went to the place where we met up with Isam, and then you did another one in Germany. Was those, how did you get here? Who told you about those? Was that like the university was saying, hey guys, we have this opportunity here, or how as a student as you were back then, how did you encounter those opportunities?
It came from university. I don't know about the connection between it, but I think we have some partnerships with like other universities. And that's where you can do like an exchange period, for example, but summer schools as well. And it was always in the week of the re-exams. So when you passed every exam the first time, you had like a week off. And then you could choose between like, do you want to go to a summer school or do you want to have like a free week? And then I choose to do like a summer school. I think that, as I said, that really helped me into my career. So that was like a good choice. And it was really with the connections between the universities. And that's like, I really like that at my university that they had some connections with other universities. When you can do things like this, it's really good for your personal branding.
So, I mean, sure, feel free to talk about which one of those, but I mean, regarding these, summer schools opportunities, before you did the first one, did you have like any expectations and thinking about that part, but also how did you feel afterwards? Because, there are like 5 days, which there could happen a lot of things during those, but it could be interesting to understand how you could feel before and then how you felt afterwards.
I think it's difficult. Yeah, before the first time, I didn't expect that much. Actually, I didn't really know what the this how serious it was. Like, do you need to put a lot of effort in it in a week, or not? But yeah, both kind of summer schools were really the same. When we were in Malmö, we saw a lot of Malmö by itself and the multicultural city that it is. And at Germany, we went, for example, to the headquarters of PUMA, and we had a walk through the showrooms to the office over there. So that was really a practical view of what your work might be later on. And yeah, here I am.
True, true. And you said you met a lot of people. So would you say there were a lot of people in the similar situation like you, or how would you say the other students that you met during these two different events? Are you still connected as well?
I still have some connections with people I met in Malmö or Germany or Vietnam, but it's not that really serious anymore. But yeah, as we speak, we met each other on the Malmö University and during the ESM. So yeah, there are still some connections, and yeah, you never know when you can use someone you've met before on that during that days.
True, true. And with regards to the Vietnam exchange, was that something that you really wanted to do before you jumped on the program itself, that there was an opportunity, or was that something that came up and you felt like, yeah, maybe I should go on this one? Or how did what was your plan with an exchange semester?
Yeah, I heard from it before I started studying, and like everyone who went on exchange, and they had all like, this is my best time of my life, and all that kind of stories. So I really wanted to go on exchange. So yeah, when the opportunity came by, I took it, and I'm really happy that I did it. And yeah, you have to deal with some other cultural aspects within the same business actually, and yeah, that really help you to work with different persons. So it's not about that you really learn something about the business, but it's mostly about dealing with other people from other cultures.
Yeah, no, cool. I think it's an important thing to understand that sometimes there are opportunities just when you're studying as well to go somewhere else, and as you're saying, just experiencing something else. Well, I mean, then we have PUMA, and that it's interesting that you said like, yeah, you did an internship and then you weren't really sure, but then you got back. But you also mentioned it that you didn't really liked, if I'm saying it correctly, with the first one. Was like, how could you explain? Like, was it a role that you didn't expected that it was that all about, or how was your feeling?
Actually, first of all, my second internship, my plan was to do it at another business, and you can like compare two different kind of businesses, and then you can really see what do you like the most. So that was actually my first plan. But after reaching out to my old colleagues, it really felt like coming home, and they had like a total different job for me at then. So I decided just to do it. I know that was like a good place to learn from other people over there, and that it was like a totally another job. It makes me feel confident that I will learn really something else than I did in the past in the first internship. So that was the most important thing that makes me go back to PUMA.
All right. And for those that some people, I mean, probably everyone that is listening or watching this should know what PUMA, what PUMA is. But from your perspective, could you tell us a little bit like how is PUMA, what it's like, and what's your experience?
Yeah, of course, everyone will probably know that it's like the third ranked sports brand in the world. But it's like, it's not the same like Nike and Adidas. For sure, you will know that Puma and Adidas were brothers in the past. And they split it up in 1948, I guess. And then Adi became Adidas and Puma became Puma. But it's really like a brave brand that's like different from others. Really inspired by lifestyle and old sports passionate people like Johan Cruyff from the Netherlands. When you want an example, and I really like it to work at Puma because everyone is like at the same. Yeah, you have like different management levels, of course, in an organization, but everyone at Puma is the same. Everyone is really doing a good job and really putting in a lot of effort, and everyone is deserving, the respect they deserve. So that's serious going on. But that's really something I really like in my job, that you can level with everyone at the company.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I mean, as you mentioned, there are some other brands that are out there as well, and I think there are a lot of people that are always, dreams of, I would like to work there. I would like to work there. So it's really cool to have this opportunity and to actually, talk with someone that is working at one of these bigger ones, and to get this, as you're saying, like now getting this unique experience of that people are more or less on the same level, no matter what they do, which I think is a good thing for the company culture in general.
Yeah, sure. I strongly recommend like students from my former university to get an internship at Puma, because it's like a really good place to learn when you are young, and I think that's like a good kickstart for your career.
And I mean, when you're now mentioning it as well, I guess it's also for other people that are listening and watching this as well, that if they would like to explore more, they should probably look into the different internships that Puma are offering, I guess.
Yeah. You can just look on the website. I think it's puma.careers.com or something like that. But when you Google it, you will find it for sure.
And when it comes to that, maybe we could take that as well. Meanwhile, would there be any recommendations for people to how they should think if they want to? What should a person that are interested to know? Maybe I should apply for an internship at Puma. Yeah. What should they think of in general, and what should they expect when it comes to their internship role?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned before, it's a really good place to learn. You get a lot of responsibilities pretty early. So it's not that they are let you go and do nothing with you, but they really like to train you and help you with the things about what you're doing. And I think that's one important thing of an internship, that you really get the support you need, but still get a lot of responsibilities. And that's why I returned to Puma for my second internship. And they really help you with a lot of with actually everything you want.
Anything that you used to think of if you apply? Is it more or less like apply and that's it, or should you think of something special from your side of it when it comes to maybe a cover letter or resume in general?
I think just be yourself. That's what they really want, and I think that's always the most important thing when you apply. Just be yourself. Be confident about what you did in the past, and just go for it.
Great, good advice there. And then I think something that we all are looking forward to hear a little bit more about what you do today is, could you explain a little bit how? Yeah, maybe a hard question. Like, how does one day look like? But in general, like, how could 1 week look like, or a day at the office?
Yeah, sure. I can explain something. Actually, right now I'm an account manager. So I have a lot of customers in my account base, and I also support them with the sell-ins. So like I have a lot of small value accounts. So all small sports shops in the Netherlands and Belgium and Luxembourg as well. They sell in with me for the PUMA sector. So when you get, for example, like a small sports shop in your city or in your town, they come to the showroom, and I am their sales representative. So they come to me, and we make an appointment to sell in for the next seasons, and then we will make a small walkthrough with a presentation I made for them, and I show them all the products we have, and then we make like together on order for the next season. And then like every season it's going on. So we're working with 2 seasons, the season where you're in right now, and the next season you are pre-ordering for. So we are always pre-ordering for the next season. And then in season you are going to deliver all the products from the warehouse. And then together you're actually one team with the buyer. So you have like a buyer and I'm the seller. And then you're one team together to make the best order for that shop. And that's really what I like, to build a strong relationship, that I really know what the customer wants, and they know what they can get at PUMA.
Wow, all right. So there's obviously a lot of different people to stay connected with, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
And then I was thinking as well, there are, different sports, I guess, that you have to think of. So it's not only as you might think, at least knowing that you love football, but I guess you have to, take care of different sports as well, right?
Yeah. We are actually involved in a couple of sports, but where we are focusing on is football, of course. And then we have like a running training department. So like all the running and training stuff. And then we have Sportstyle Core. It's like more a lifestyle business on a lower level. So not really sneakers, but more like sport lifestyle shoes. And we started actually with basketball as well, but we don't have that really specific basketball accounts yet. But team sport, so football is the most important one, with running training and then some lifestyle business.
Great. So I think we got a good sense of how a week or a day could look like, and that as you're saying, there are different seasons as well, and I think it's just you have this role of getting the sneak peek of what's coming next before everyone else, which should be pretty fun, I guess.
Yeah, I really like it, like building the relationship with the customers. And then help them in season with selling their projects, some marketing activities sometimes. But you're also analyzing the data of the sell-through, so you can really see what are they selling, what is not selling, and then you can take that into your next sell-in for the next season. So you can show them like, here are your numbers. Like these styles are going pretty good at your store. These are a little bit behind. And then you can make like a better order for the next time. And so you can improve your relationship with the customer. And that's really what I like.
And another thing I'm thinking of as well within this job, I mean, it is a lot about with sales, but how do you really need to be an expert in sales, or is it something that you either can get learned at the company, or something that it's more about, it's actually not about the selling, it's more about communication? What's your perspective on that one?
It's really about communication. Like, I don't have any involvement in like what kind of products I can make, or that's all about global things. Like they are only doing in the headquarters in Germany. They are producing all the products, so we don't have to worry about that. So this is the product we get, and this is the product we have to sell, and we have to deal with it. So it's really about the relationship with the customer and your communicative skills, And yeah, that's what you can learn for sure. It's still like getting with some experience with the customer. And for the first time, it's always a little bit difficult when you don't know the customer, you don't know really the shop. For sure, you can go to the shop and watch a little bit around and look what they are selling. But building the relationship with the customer takes really time. So you have to be a little bit patient, and the sales will come when the relationship is getting better and better.
Cool. I mean, great. It's a lot of great, insights here. So really thankful for that. And now I thought we jump into the next part when it's more about the passion in itself. You have already, gotten into it a bit, but I was wondering a little bit more, and everything is based on like a why, how, what method when it comes to understanding why you have a certain passion for the sports sector. And, it's not an easy question, but how would you further explain your passion in working in sports?
Yeah, that was really like a difficult question when I read that before we started. But I think you are born with this. I don't know how I can explain it in other words, but I think you're really born with like a passion for something. And I think I'm born with a passion for sports, and it doesn't matter what kind of sport it is, but I really like it to play it, to watch it, and to work with it. So I think it's really that you're growing up with it, and I don't know how to explain it in another way.
Well, something I think it's very interesting is if I would ask you more of how do you feel when it comes to when you're actually in, let's say, the game or watching it. Is there a certain maybe feeling that you get that you look back at when you're thinking about it?
Yeah, when you play it by yourself, like I'm really a winner, so a lot of emotions are coming above. But it's just not only about money and commercial things, but still, when you watch football, it's still going about one thing, and that's just win the game, just score that one goal, or do what you can and put all the effort in as much as you can. And that's really what I like about it, the emotions. And I really love some videos on YouTube when you Google it. The emotions with that sports brings us, that's really what I like.
So it feels like it's like a lot of team sports for you. So it's a lot about doing it together.
No, it's team sports, but I really like tennis, of course, as well. And it looks like he is on his own on the field, but there's a whole team behind him. So actually, it's every kind of sport. It's like a team sport. You can never do it alone, and that's an important thing.
I think that's a good answer to the question. There are always more people together to do it in order to reach the best. And something that I'm also very interested to know more about that I have asked you is to bring some memorable sports object, something that you had brought hopefully with you to this podcast, and keen to know what you brought with you and why you brought it.
Yeah, I actually brought two things. As we speak, we talk about the emotions in sports. So I brought a kit of Ajax Amsterdam.
All right, yeah.
That's my favorite club. Unfortunately, it's from Adidas, but
So and for those that are listening and not can see this, so you brought up this Ajax jersey, the Dutch football club.
Yeah,
it's one of the best in the Netherlands in football for sure.
Yeah, it's the best.
It's the best. Yeah.
I'm really a fan of Ajax Amsterdam. I'm a season ticket holder, and this is actually the kit they were in the semi-finals 1 year ago.
You mean in Champions League last year?
In the Champions League last year, exactly. And I was in the stadium when we were. I was like 3-0 in front by half time. So like everyone was loudly cheering and clapping, and like the whole stadium went crazy. But then like in 45 minutes, all was gone against the Spurs when Lucas Moura scored 3 goals. So the whole atmosphere at the stadium was gone in like 3 seconds, from like the top level to far below the bottom. And I can cry when I talk about it, but that's what sport means to like all the people in the world, and that's why you're playing for. And sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, and that's it actually.
Yeah. And then you had a second thing you said?
Yeah, I have a second one. This is like a driver cap of Max Verstappen from the Netherlands. It's as you can see it's signed by him as well.
Yes, Jur is putting the cap. It's a orange white cap with an autograph from a Dutch Formula 1 driver, and he's holding this up right now in the camera. And could you tell us a little bit more about Max Verstappen for those that doesn't know who that is?
Max Verstappen is a Formula 1 driver of Red Bull Racing at the moment. He was like the youngest driver who's winning a Formula 1 race. He made his debut at 17 years old. So he actually wasn't really allowed to drive in a car at the normal roads. But he was like driving a Formula 1 car at, I don't know, like 250 miles an hour, 300.
Yeah.
But I really love this cap because I received it after I completed my first internship at PUMA, and they asked Max to sign a cap for me when I left the company. And meanwhile, I've been to Formula 1 races 6 times in 6 different places.
Oh.
So I went to Belgium, Austria, Spain, Singapore, Malaysia, and Brazil last year. So I've watched the Formula 1 races at a lot of different places, and then you see like all the different subjects of like one event. When I was in Singapore, for example, they built like a whole event with artists like Calvin Harris, Ariana Grande. And then 1 week after that, I went to Malaysia for the race, and then there was like nothing. So it was like totally different how other people organize events and doing their business. That was really interesting to see. And as we speak about emotions, Max collapsed in the first corner at Singapore. So it was really annoying for us the whole race. But the week after that in Malaysia, he won. So that's, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And this was like the reverse part of the game of Ajax Amsterdam. He first lost and a week later he won the race. So I really love it. You never know what you get when you buy a ticket for a match. And that's what it makes always excited to go to stadiums and things like that.
And what I'm doing as well in every episode, I'm trying to bring myself something to always make it a little bit of my try to contribute to from my own perspective. So behind here, got a football jersey. So in the background, so I guess you can see what I have as a jersey, Jur, but it's a Liverpool jersey, and I thought that you're a good football fan, so I thought I should bring myself something with football. And as actually the moment as we speak, I'm a big Liverpool fan, so I'm very happy that they finally won the Premier League. and actually very soon they will play against Manchester City. That also, they have a Puma jersey.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Since this is the first year they're in Puma, so
yeah. So I thought I had that connection. Like I don't have a Puma. Unfortunately, sorry, I don't have a Puma jersey. But then I thought, like, well, Liverpool are playing against City, so that could be a good end to it. There's actually some Puma in there. But yeah, so I just wanted to show a little bit what was behind my head, if you was wondering, either you or the ones that are listening or watching. And moving on from this, one thing I would like to ask you is, have there been any, fear for you when it comes to your career? And it could be something before entering, the Puma work life, or it could be something during the Puma work life. But, curious to hear if you have had any fear that you felt this was, challenging, and then how you overcome it.
I think it was not really like a fear, but as I mentioned early in the podcast, I was struggling with my study, what I really want to do and what I like, and that kind of struggling wasn't made me very confident about myself and what I want to do and what I want to become later on. So that was not really like a fear, but it was really something where I was struggling with. But then I think I took the right decision just to do what I like instead of do what I'm good at. Just study what you like and become there a master, and that's, I think, the best way to choose.
And any suggestion how to understand what you're good at or what you actually like?
Yeah, it's pretty close to each other, I guess. But sometimes you're good at football, but do you really want to become a football player at like a lower level or something like that? Or do you really want to become a football player in first? And I don't know. Yeah, sometimes you see some players are stopping or quitting with football career or something like that, just to take like a commercial career, as I can call it like that. And I think that's something you have to choose for yourself, and some pluses and minuses, and then make a list and just count every pluses and minuses, and then make a decision. But I will strongly recommend just to do what you want and what you really like. I think that put a lot of effort in something what you really like is a way easier than around.
I think the list is a good way, as you're saying, to actually put down something into words and then just see very easy in front of you. These are good things. These are maybe less good things, or actually these are good things, but what? And then comparing that one.
Yeah, sure.
Well, another thing I would like to do now is something I'm calling If Not. It's a very similar short version of the quick fives, but the whole point of this one is that if you couldn't do a certain thing, what would you choose instead? So the first one I would like to ask you is that, if you couldn't work with your current role when it comes to this communication and sales role, what would you like to pick in that case?
Ooh, that's a really difficult one. Actually, it will be definitely something within the sports world. I really like to visit stadiums and that kind of stuff. So if there is something in stadium activities or events, I think I will work with. I will go with events or something like that, organizing large events, concerts, something like that. I really like the atmosphere, and a lot of people are coming together.
Yeah, cool. And if not working at Puma or working with football, what would you in that case do?
Ooh, Yeah, I'll go with events as well. I think I really love some music events and some concerts. So I think something with music.
Cool. And if you couldn't grow up in the Netherlands, which country would you pick?
Sweden.
Love it.
No, actually, I really love Scandinavia. So I think Denmark is pretty similar to the Netherlands, and I think they have a good structure within the universities and that kind of business. So I will go with Denmark or Sweden.
Cool. And the last one is, if you could talk Dutch and English, which language would you pick?
I will pick Spanish because I think that's one of the most used languages after English. Or Chinese would be very great, but I don't know I'll ever learn that language.
Yeah. All right, cool. Great. Good answers there. And the next question I would like to go ahead. It's not a part of this. If not, it's something completely different. But I'm curious to see. So the question is the following: if you could get one superpower, what would it be? And then you can think of whatever. But what would be the superpower if you could pick whatever?
Oof. It's raining at the moment, so I can pick the weather forecast, but that's a difficult one. I think just like in one finger clip, when you're at the place where you want to be, like when you have like the Champions League final, I just want to be there at the stadium. And then when you have a day after that, like the World Cup final or a Formula One race, I will go with that one. And you get tickets for every match you want, and be at every all the good events. I really go with that one.
So some sort of sports teleporter, or teleporting yourself, but just to sport events.
A teleporter with like a season ticket of all the clubs and sports.
I like that one. Cool. All right, so we're coming to an end. And before we end up, since you have this, big passion of football, is there anything in football you would like to change?
I don't think so. Let's say you have all the racism, of course, now in the stadiums. That should be definitely go out of the sports world and like the entire world for sure. But I don't think we don't need to change something to improve it. But I think it's the how it's going right now. It's the game by itself. It's really what I like. So of course there are always some improvements, and it could go on. But I don't think that I really want to change something at the moment.
Right. And the last question for this podcast or video cast, if we could say it like that, is a little bit about personal development. So I think we all are, eager to develop ourselves to become better. And I'm always curious to understand how people try to develop themselves. So what do you have for advice of staying up to date, or how do you do to, develop yourself? And that could be everything from, learning a new language or playing an instrument, or, think very broadly. It doesn't have to be sports in general, but how do you try to develop yourself?
We have some learning development platforms at PUMA, and I think that's a really good way to teach and to learn your own employers. So that's something you might use when you have the capacity of it. And always at universities, at working places, or wherever you want, wherever you be, you can always learn at your level, as I can say it like that. And there are always some platforms or things that you can learn from, and there are a lot of online websites. So I really like it to learn another language. that's like a dream for me to speak Spanish fluency. But yeah, there are always some places where you can learn. You have a lot of learning opportunities in.
Yeah. And just to pick on the one where you're saying that you have already at Puma, that is it you pick yourself when you would like to do it, or how does that work?
Yeah, at Puma, you can. There's like a platform, and you can just log into it, and then you can just like pick different segments or different sectors, or just what you want. And like it could be a language, it could be sales opportunities, it could be data analysis or something like that. So you can pick actually whatever you want, and it's just for yourself. It's free, but the lessons are pretty good. And I think when you can show like when you completed a course, then they really see that you want to develop yourself, and that's a good way to get a good relationship with your colleagues or your manager or something like that.
Is it only for the Puma employees, or is there anything that?
Yeah, this one it is, but online you can find a lot of platforms like this.
Right. Cool. So now when we trying to wrap this up, do you have any questions yourself to the ones that are listening or watching this, or it could be in general someone to the sports outside to the sports sector that you have a question for?
No, actually, I'm interested in what all kind of listeners we have. Like, what are they doing, and which companies are they working? And I think I really like to see what kind of listeners there are in these podcasts. So that's something I really want to know.
Yeah, no, cool. No, I think that would be a good way to better see what people that we do have here watching and listening, and we will probably put this out as well in social media and the description of how you can share about yourself. And I think I also would like to ask you, you have mentioned it before with podcasts and so on. Do you have any recommendations of podcasts to listen to or any books to read?
I've just finished the book of Andre Agassi. It's like a former tennis player, and it's like a really, really good story. That book I just finished, and I've read from Nike, the Shoe Dog as well, and that's from Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, and that's a really good story as well. Like how he did his business when he was really, really young, and fly to Japan to go to the factories to produce some shoes, and that's a really good story.
All right, cool. We'll definitely make sure to put this in the description, so if you're reading or watching this, that you can see where you can find these books. And if people would like to, connect with you or read something more about yourself and what you do, is there a way to, connect with you?
Yeah, you can always find me on LinkedIn. You have my contact details, so you can share my page of LinkedIn in the subscription, and then you can always find me and invite me for a quick chat or something like that.
Yeah, we'll make sure to put down that as well in the description, so people can connect with you if they would like to, and we can also add in about Puma, but I guess people can understand that as well by Googling. But I mean, we will make sure that all of this, it's been a lot of information here, but everything that people could read more about, and we'll definitely make sure that will be in the description. And I think it's been a great time. We talked for a long time, and even though, as you were saying in the beginning, you're young, but there's still a lot of great stories that you have shared. So really thankful for you, being part of this and sharing about yourself. And it's very important to see that people can find their different ways. And as you're saying, it's more about identifying what you would like to do yourself. So a big thank you, Jur, for being part of this. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it was no problem. It was like a pleasure to meet you again after like more than 2 years, and I really liked it. And I hope you guys who are listening like it as well. And yeah, maybe we will see each other again in the future.
Yeah, we should definitely make sure to that. So,
Yeah.
so for everyone, until next time, make sure to, create a great day, and also make sure to do something you enjoy. Now we're gonna wrap this up and end. And as I'm always trying to do when it comes to the video cast, we're trying to say goodbye by putting our hands on the camera. So I'm not sure if you've done this before, but this is something that people try to do when it comes to this digital meeting. So when we say goodbye, we just put the hand on the camera and finish up the conversation. All right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, good to see you, Jur, and goodbye.
Goodbye.